Hello from San Jose, and welcome back to Full Time. I am running on 1 hour of sleep, so bear with me. Meg, how are you doing? We're here for the NWSL Championship.
We are closing out Media Day. They're going to be breaking this room down behind us. If you're watching on YouTube, congrats. You are now really, truly experiencing
Yes. This is probably going to convert a lot of YouTube subscribers,
the magic of Media Day, the terror of Media Day.
The frenzy of it.
Yeah. It's a time. Like, if you have not experienced an NWSL Media Day, they just keep getting longer.
They do.
It's a journey. I think we've had a great Media Day.
Yeah. I mean, I think back to my first Media Day. It wasn't that long ago, 2022 in DC. I was freelancing still. I had no idea really what was going on. Very much had to read the vibe.
Yeah.
I feel like it can be kind of intimidating to walk up to players at the table, not have any real prompt, and you just have to kind of
talk.
But I've noticed that a lot of players this year are getting pulled off into these other projects.
I will say I'm loving, we've got the table vibe. Yeah. We have a little sign that the NWSL gave us.
Yeah.
People are coming to us.
Yes.
I love that.
The growth. I love the growth for
us.
The
Go Girl give us nothing. We can just sit here and be like, you're coming to us.
Yes. We've had little trinkets. We've had kikis. We've had inside jokes.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. We're in this beautiful, old school sort of cavernous civic building, which yesterday was the site of the NWSL Awards show.
Correct. Yep.
The first of its kind, streamed online. Let us know if you watched it. The looks, Meg,
truly,
they were looking.
Yeah. I want to say Hal Hirschfeld, old school Hollywood vibes. I really enjoyed it.
And I think the red hair just adds to it. Like we said,
you're going to be, we're
there's a lot going on. It was for it being the first proper award show. I thought it was a great first start. We're only going to build on it from there. It had sort of the vibes of the NWSL draft, but more sophisticated, a little bit more grown up.
Everybody's dressed up in a way that the draft sometimes, but not the same. Not the same.
Hit or miss. This one, everybody ate down. Yeah. And it looked like everyone was really happy to see each other. The entire Washington Spirit squad was there, which I thought was really cool. Tara McKeown, Defender of the Year, Lily Reel.
Rookie of the Year. Okay, wait, time out. Before we go any further, I feel like one of our most interesting disagreements and one of the things that has caused the most discourse online was Coach of the Year.
Yes.
So I want to get your reaction to Bev Yanez winning Coach of the Year, because that's where I was leaning. That's who I voted for.
Yep, and I was leaning Vlatko. The more I thought about it after we recorded, the more, and I think I said this to our producer, Theo, I think that the coaching category for awards this year might have been the most fascinating out of all the categories, because the more I thought about it, I think each of those coaches had not only a compelling argument, but a distinctly different argument from the next one. So not to be, annoying, but I really would have been happy no matter who won.
Yeah, agree. There's not a wrong answer. It's just what do you feel, what is most important to you as a voter? And that's... That award was probably the most subjective yet for coaching. It was really not. I mean, I was getting into fights online, even though it wasn't even about me, of just the reason why Golden Boot is handed to the person who scored the most goals, right? It's a quantitative award rather than a qualitative award. And so there's an objectiveness versus a subjectiveness. And that, I think, makes awards, going back to our conversation about awards, right? It's so fascinating and terrible and, just a product of who's watching the game and how they're watching the game.
And I have to say, I was in the mix zone at the award show. Bev Yanez, just distributing gems like candy on Halloween. Yeah. She was amazing. And you could just tell how much it meant for her, for the season that Racing Louisville has had, for the year that she has had, all the ups and downs of it. I was really happy to see her win. She brought her mom into the mix zone to take a photo. It was very, very sweet.
Lovely.
It was very sweet. And I don't know why, but emotionally, Meg, I'm thinking that the game is tomorrow.
I know, it feels like it.
We still have 2 more days.
Yeah, it feels like it.
But how are you feeling heading into this? We've met with a bunch of players from both sides. We're getting a little bit closer to this big moment. Yep. And it feels like each day is just escalating the drama.
Yeah. And we will be joined by Midge Purce of Gotham FC and Croix Bethune of the Washington Spirit on this show. Mm-hmm. I think almost before we even get to the game, we need to take a beat and talk about Jessica Berman. Yes. The contract renewal. You had that big story with her. We had additional reporting around Trinity Rodman and the salary cap on Thursday morning as well. But what were your main thoughts on her press conference and coming out of that really massive interview with her?
Yeah, I think when you write a profile like that, after having spent so much time with someone outside of a press conference sort of environment, which up until that point was the only environment that I had ever really interacted with Jessica Berman.
Sure.
I felt like when I was sitting in that press conference, I was like, I don't really know how to get back into this world, having seen you in this other, like, much more vulnerable context. Not to spoil, but maybe more of a tease for the piece. But she has been through some, like, really challenging personal moments in her life. Her former husband had a stroke. She witnessed a lot of that before he went to the hospital. He had a long, long road to recovery. And there were a lot of overlaps and parallels between her going through that and what happened to Savvy King.
Correct. Yeah.
And asking her about that pulled out a lot of emotions. So for me, I kind of had to like pivot from that deeply personal moment into work life.
Right.
But I do think that the commissioner has a way of sitting in press conferences that just felt very different from the side of her that I was able to see when I was reporting for the profile.
Right.
And so the press conference was sort of a reminder of just like the different faces that she wears. I feel like I understand her a little bit differently. And in a similar way that like this debate about the salary cap is actually like getting richer and richer the more that time passes and the higher the stakes get and the more that players like Trinity Rodman are like escalating the tension of that debate.
Yes.
I kind of feel like that's how I'm thinking about Jessica Berman being commissioner and having this contract extension. Like we're just adding more layers of complexity to the story of it all, if that makes sense.
Right.
What did you think of it though?
I mean, so obviously I'm still covering the Trinity Rodman news. Tom Bogert and I have been following the free agency and potential interest from Europe. On Thursday morning, we reported that there's also an open offer from USL Super League team DC Power, which is apparently like orders, something that the NWSL under the salary cap cannot match. And I think that was a real theme, right? I think people are really still trying to understand the ambition of the NWSL in terms of being able to retain a player like Trinity Rodman, Jessica Berman coming out and saying, we will fight. Real stress on that word for Trinity Rodman is going to be a really interesting thing moving forward. But I think we just got to start thinking about this game, though, with everything else going on. I mean, that is the NWSL way.
Yeah. Many things at once.
Yes.
All of the time.
Yes.
Constantly juggling. If you're only thinking about one thing, then you're not fully paying attention.
Right.
Or you're like half awake. I mean, I'm a West Coast girly. I love the fact that this party is coming to the Bay, even though it's two East Coast teams. I do think, and we talked to Midge. Like I said, it's late. I'm tired.
Where is it?
Midge and Croix about this question of a rivalry, right, between these two teams. And it's just so hard for me to imagine this championship game not adding another very, very, very important chapter to the story between these two. Like, I feel like we're not even going to talk about results yet, but there is definitely going to be drama. Like, it's hard to imagine there not being.
Okay, actually, you know what? Before we get to the two of them, I know producer Theo has asked us to have predictions about the game and not results.
Okay.
Not results, right?
Okay.
But, and I think I've been saying this kind of a lot of places right at the moment, is I feel like we are in for a game that's either going to be chaos from the start or, again, this kind of very cagey affair until the final 5 minutes. We're like, that is, I don't want to necessarily predict one way or the other, but I feel like there's not going to be an in-between with this game. It's either all out from the jump or it's a last-minute frenzy of something. So that's my prediction.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about this?
I definitely was leaning, I think, like, after Gotham's win over Orlando, when we knew what the final was going to be, I was very much in the camp of, it's going to be, like, interesting, but the last 20 minutes are going to be like, you better be glued to your seat. Now, having seen the teams, seeing them do, awards, seeing them vibing out in various ways on media day, I feel like the swag factor, like X-swag on both teams is just steadily
rising. Yeah, they're using the week to their advantage.
You know, they're a little bit ahead.
I feel like Spirit had the real advantage when it came to awards.
Yeah, they did. They were all there. They were rolling deep.
Yep.
So now I'm kind of more on the side of like from kickoff, it's just going to be pure entertainment. And these are two teams that like to entertain.
Yes. And they know each other, right? They know each other. So I don't know, maybe we'll have a battle of two heavyweights just punching each other in the face. That's always the kind of game I want.
I know.
If we could get a nice, chaotic 5-4 NWSL Championship,
or a 6-7. Sorry. I actually still don't know what that means.
No. I'm way too old for it. It's fine. It's fine. All right. I feel like, you know what? We just got to get it.
Yes. Let's kick it to, who do we start with? Midge. Let's start with Midge. Yeah. Midge Purce.
Midge Purce.
Oh, hi.
Gotham FC.
Yeah.
You have come into the table hot because you have
tea.
You have a little bit of beef with a teammate. I want to hear it. Let's start here.
I'm feeling a little hostility towards Jess Carter at the moment. I'm looking at her right now, and it doesn't feel great.
What happened?
So someone asked her which teammate she would least want to date her sibling, and she thought that I was a good pick for that. And I just am confused. I feel like I'm a bit of a catch, so I don't really know where that's coming from.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just a little offended. Out of everyone, I'm not going to air out everybody's dirty laundry, but I don't think I'm the worst pick out of everyone on Gotham FC.
Yeah, and to be like risking a rift like that so close to the championship too, it's like,
you know, the truth is Jess and I are quite alike.
So she kind of knew how to.
I think she's just giving me. It's like a love tap from her. I see her right now. Jess, how alike are we? So alike. That's my twin. Absolutely. I always give her a little British accent every now and then.
I love it. I feel like the times that I see you and have the most fun are in these Media Day championships. Here we are yet again. I mean, I feel like we could almost spend the whole time just talking about the last championship that Gotham won.
That was a good time.
Where to start? I think it has to be with your iconic photo.
Thank you.
The double trophies, the cigar. Do you still like think about that? And there was like a whole narrative about
narrative.
Right. It was a moment.
An unintended narrative.
Right. But it was so emblematic, I think, of the season that you had, certainly of the season Gotham had, the way that you won that game. How are you sort of like holding that moment as you head into another championship? Just the opportunity to create another moment like that.
Yeah, the truth is I'm not holding that moment at all. It's so far in the past, and I'm so grateful to have had that moment, and it was wonderful, but it's such a new team and a new time and a new place. And I'm just looking forward. I'm looking forward to Saturday and everything that we need to do to beat a different opponent.
Fair.
With some of the people who was my enemy then.
That's fair. Before you came over, I was talking to your head coach, Juan Carlos Amoros, and he had 2 questions that he suggested for this conversation.
Okay.
First, what meal do you plan to eat before the championship?
I don't know what meal, but what Juan is insinuating.
I'm like, that sounded like an inside joke of a question.
Yes. So coaches, I actually think a lot of European coaches are a bit more skeptical. Not skeptical. Militant's the wrong word as well.
Attentive.
Sure. Yes, particular and considerate of what it is that you eat before a game. And last year before the championship, he saw me eat a donut, right before, and he was like, "Oh, Misha, no!" And he was so upset. He was just like, "You're not going to be able to play like that." And so from now on, every time he sees me, he's like, "Did you have a donut today? Like, did you eat it?" So,
look how the tables turn.
Yeah. Or it was a waffle. It was some kind of
sweet
breakfast.
Pastry-ish.
Yeah, I love a decadent pastry. Like
Big move. The second question you had was, are you planning to be MVP of the championship again?
I think everyone on the team plans for it. I think that's just the competitive edge. I don't think about it that way, but I plan to be the best version of myself, and that's honestly all that I'm thinking about. I think that if I bring what I can bring and everyone else around me brings what they bring, I think we should win the game.
And it really does feel, especially in the postseason, that every individual in Gotham has been showing up as their best self on the field. From the outside, at least, that's how it seems. But how has it felt for you going through this season with Gotham? Of course, no two seasons are alike. You came in as the 8th seed. We have the underdog my ass narrative now as part of the story. But how has the journey felt from the inside?
The journey has been, from a team perspective and an individual perspective, I think individually it's been crazy. I wasn't even able to play at the beginning of the year. I was still coming back from ACL, came back a little, got injured again, came back again, got injured again. It's trying to get my minutes up. It's been like a long season individually. And I think as a team, it might be a little bit emblematic, my individual journey for what it has been for the team. It's been a lot of ups and downs as well. So I think to be here, it's kind of a nuanced understanding, I would say, because to the outside looking in, yes, you see an 8th seed. Yes, you see the points and the games that we dropped. But inside looking in, we've always felt we're not doing what we're capable of. This isn't the Gotham that we should be and that we all know we're capable of. So we've been falling short of not just the expectation, but our standard. So I think being here, we feel we did what we needed to do. Let's finish the job.
Came all this way to the West Coast.
All the way.
Gotta leave with something.
Yes.
I want to talk to you about this game against the Spirit. But first, before we get into it, these are two teams that, Sky Blue versus Spirit, into Gotham versus Spirit. I know you had embraced after the semifinal that District versus Empire nickname. Cool. Do you have an alternate pick for the rival? Do you think it's a rivalry? Do you think it deserves a name?
I like Empire versus District. I don't know if we're at the rivalry stage yet, because I think once we get there, it will be. I'll hear more profanity in the build-up week. Yes, that's the only reason why I don't think we're there quite yet.
Right.
I think it will be more vitriol. And I don't think we've reached that level yet. Yeah. Maybe after Saturday we'll reach it. But I do
in a championship battle, I feel like it's going to exacerbate things.
I do think what most people see, and I've gotten a lot of questions about like drama and whatnot, I think what they see is actually we have such competitive individuals on our team, like top to bottom. And so do they. And I think we see that come together. But I don't even think it's gotten to the point where it's a rivalry. I would love to see it become that. Yeah. But I think we could give more.
I feel like number one yapper, Emily Sonnet.
She's fantastic. But she can do more. I think there's more in there for her. And I think we can make it even more antagonistic, yes, once we get to that enemy level.
Well, you were saying that one of the themes this season within the team is that knowing that you could do more. So maybe it applies to trash talk. Maybe it applies to being a villain.
For sure.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Lily Real, Rookie of the Year. Yes. I have been so all in on that narrative since the start of the season. Can you just kind of give her some flowers? What have you seen from her from the time that she arrived at Gotham? She just seems like someone who's been here before. You know those players with that maturity and that
old soul.
Yeah, she has an old soul vibe to her defense. Such a joy to watch.
Lily is phenomenal. I think we've only scratched the surface with what we're going to see from her. Even in preseason, I remember watching her and I was like, she's got a little JJ in her, a little Julie Johnson, and a little something of that in there. And I was like, oh, okay. I see what's going on here. But I think what I'm most proud of that girl is kind of things that everyone else doesn't see. I think to the public, it may just look like, she came in as a rookie. She was highly appraised, I would say, coming in. And she started all the games. She got called into national team camp. She's Rookie of the Year. And that's just not how it happens. There are so many challenges and hard things she had to overcome. And I think she had such a professional and elite mentality. And it was a joy to watch and see her work through all of those things. It was not just like this for her. I think her mentality is going to take her so far. I was just making fun of her at practice today. I was like, remember that own goal you had?
Yeah. I think that's such an important part of the story because to bounce back from that as a rookie.
As a rookie, your first start, you have an own goal, and she played phenomenal after that game. And then the rest of the games, she's scared she's fearless, she's scared of nothing. And I just commend her. I can't applaud her enough. She's wonderful. something about that left back spot as a rookie on Gotham, man. It's like a pipeline. Put me back there.
And we saw what happened the last time that happened with Gotham.
All right, Midge, before we let you get out of here, I asked this question for Croix, right? If someone's watching this game, this is their first NWSL game that they're ever watching, when they are watching Gotham, what do you hope that they're seeing about your team in this final?
I just hope they're like, those are some dogs. Yep.
I like that. Love it. Perfect place to end it.
Succinct, to the point, big energy.
Yeah. All right.
I love it.
Midge, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, always a vibe with Midge. And now we're moving on to the Washington Spirit's Croix Bethune. The blessings keep coming for our interviews, Meg, because now we are joined by Washington Spirit and U.S. Women's National Team midfield maestro, Croix Bethune.
I like that.
Hello.
Hi.
I came up with it off the top of the dome just for you. How are you doing? How are you feeling in this moment? Obviously not your first NWSL Championship, different coast. Where's your mind at right now?
I feel great. Excited to be here. Second championship, but this time we'll be able to play in it. So just trying to focus on that, stay focused on the game, and just prepare for Saturday.
What have the emotions of this past week been like? Because I feel like, as someone who's been to, I think, every championship except one for this league, right? When I think back to 2013, it was there's a day of training and the game, right? And now it's you come off of the high of the semifinal. You're here, there's all, you walk into this room, you have to do press, you have to do TV, you have to do all these things, there's still training. How do you kind of keep your mind where it needs to be in order to go from like game to game knowing, okay, we've got a final on Saturday?
Right. I mean, luckily we got here early to handle all of the off-field business stuff while still training. I feel like this group is close enough to where we can communicate with each other and stay locked in and know that yes, this is a job that we have to do, but there's a bigger picture at the end of the day, which is the game. And that's a part of the job. You have things to do off the field, but at the end of the day, soccer and the game on Saturday is what's most important. So while we're doing this, still preparing and staying locked in.
Sticking with off the field for just one more second. I still remember the NWSL draft, your looks, your swoop, like I can still picture it clearly. And I'm thinking also of the award show yesterday. How does it feel to be able to, even as you're pursuing your professional career, still have these moments within the NWSL where you can stun and show other sides of yourself, not just with you, but teammates? It looked like everyone was having such a good time on the blue carpet, and I can only imagine the maybe light after parties, because like you said, game job to do. But what's that been like?
It's been a lot of fun. We get to express ourselves as people, not just soccer players. For me, I love getting into fashion and expressing myself in that way. So it's been great that the league has involved that. The award ceremony yesterday was a lot of fun. It was great. We got to support our teammate Tara for winning Defender of the Year. And as you could see, everyone was there. So we're very close in that manner. No after party. We went back to take care of our bodies.
Respect. Respect.
I do want to talk to you about, obviously we've got the championship coming up. The Washington Spirit fans, right? Audi has obviously built this reputation of being a fortress and being rowdy. But I want to talk to you about what you're expecting here in the Bay in terms of fans traveling and how you can rely on their support to help you through the championship game.
I mean, no expectations, but we know that our Spirit fans will show up. It is across the country, but that doesn't mean we don't have fans that live in the Bay or live on the West Coast. So we know that they will be there, and we're excited to just feed off of that 12th woman energy.
I want to talk about your season. I think one of the things that I hear, and with most other players when I hear this, it's not a compliment, but with you when I hear it, it's like a cause for excitement, which is like, you are still building on your game because what you already provide in terms of your performances is generational. Can you sort of just like reflect on this season and the contributions that you've been making in the postseason, connecting with newer players to the Spirit like Gift and Rose Kwasi? Like it just feels like every season, and I'm including college in this too, that you're still offering something new and finding new dimensions to your game. But how does it feel from Croix's shoes?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this year has been honestly a little wild. there's been a lot of behind the scenes things with the team, with the staff, a lot going on. So I feel like we've done a great job of not letting that distract us. Personally, coming back off of injury, it's been a lot of ups and downs, but we're here, just another part of the journey. And I'm honestly very proud of myself for bouncing back and still being on the rise. And now we're here at the championship. So that says a lot for this team. Like you mentioned, we have a lot of new players this year. But if you were in this group, you honestly wouldn't tell that they're new to the team because everyone is so welcoming. We have a lot of fun off the field, and the connections that we do have, I feel like they show when we play. For me personally, being a footy player, it just comes so natural. So for me, it doesn't really matter who I'm playing with, because maybe after a couple games, a couple trainings, I'll understand you as a player and we'll start flowing and getting into the groove. And I feel like the versatility on this team, that's shown very quick that we can play off of each other.
For people who are maybe tuning into this game for the first time, right? Because I think a championship game has different stakes. If someone is watching the Washington Spirit for the first time, what do you think they're going to see out of your team on Saturday? What do you want them to see out of your team on Saturday?
The first thing I think they'll see is some very pretty soccer. The way we play is very beautiful. We play in many different formations, different styles. So that's, I feel like, the one thing that you'll notice. What we want you to see is us dominating the other team offensively, defensively, and of course coming out of the game with a win.
You recently received a call up to the next U.S. Women's National Team camp for a couple of games against Italy. Has there been banter brewing between you and Sofia Cantore? I'm just thinking of the pivot between competing in a championship together and then less than 2 weeks after you get your Thanksgiving, and then it's you guys are facing off against each other. What's that like?
We honestly haven't talked about it. We've more so just been congratulations, hugs, and then we're we'll see you soon, just because we still have this job to do and we're on the same team. But I'm sure after the championship, we'll probably just start messing with each other.
Pizza takes. I feel like there's some ways. There's some food discussions that could be happening.
A little bit. I'll probably have to tell her that the pasta in Florida is better than in Italy.
That is.
Just kidding.
For most digs, Spaghetti Factory is actually the peak, right?
Right.
You can use that one.
Yeah, no comparison.
I really wonder for the Italian players now in the NWSL that they have to Olive Garden. Have they experienced the magic? That's that you got to get a bet going for after of if we win, you're coming to Olive Garden.
That's a good idea, actually. We try to have her try new stuff, and she's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "You're so right, because over there, I'm sure it's more authentic."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homemade pasta alone, the first time I had it, I was like, oh, this is why you guys take it so seriously.
Yeah.
Because I've just been taking it out of the box and, the basic sort of way. Croix, I would be remiss if I did not ask you about NWSL Atlanta. Huge news. Team number 17. You have such close ties to Atlanta. What was sort of the first thought in your mind when you heard the announcement? I know I'm not even going to ask future questions, but just the Atlanta tie, because you've been repping Atlanta even as a Spirit player, So
yeah, I'm from there, so
yeah,
I'm a Georgia peach. I was honestly a little shocked. I was like, oh, he wants to make it happen, but excited, happy for the state, happy for the league. And I think it'll be great for Atlanta itself. It's a great city to live in. There's a lot out there on the business side and the soccer side. So I'm excited for the city and for the league.
Have you started thinking about, I feel like the NWSL, there's obviously so much growth on the business side. The soccer is as good as ever. The semifinal against Portland, I think, was a perfect advertisement for this is how you roll a team, right? Have you thought about your role maybe in helping to shape the cultural direction of the NWSL? I feel like Trinity Rodman is a player that everybody looks at and knows at this point, but there is such a chance for players like you to come in and say this is what we can build the league into as a cultural thing, the way that the WNBA is shaping up. Is that something that interests you, that you want to get into?
Of course, any way that I can help the league and be involved, I definitely want to participate.
I feel like my name and me as a person and player has been getting out there a lot more, which hopefully brings in a lot of attention, not just to the Spirit, but to the league itself. So yeah, I mean, if I can be a face or bring people in, I'll do whatever it takes to get the NWSL on people's radar.
Well, we know what happens when you set your sights on something, so I have no doubts that you'll be able to make that happen.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Coy. Thank you for stopping by. Good luck this weekend. We can't wait to watch you play.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and that's our show. The next time you see us, it will be after the final. We will be talking about the winner. I will be pocketing confetti in my jacket because it's a new tradition of mine. Oh, Meg, another final.
I know.
We're here.
Yeah.
It's happening.
I will say, right at the moment, I'm really pitching hard a story for Saturday that has potential.
Just throw some
good energy. Yes. Throw some energy. But in the meantime, if you have questions for us for the final, you know how to hit us up at TA Fulltime, Instagram, TikTok. Mm-hmm. This is an episode I really hope you watch on YouTube just for the energy.
Yes.
Also the AKB cameo that I could only see out of the corner of my eye, but I could tell was an instant classic.
Yes. It's all there for you.
Yeah.
Our esteemed video producer, Leah Griffin, has been hard at work creating very special content that you're not even going to see on this show. You have to be following us on social media. And Claire Welts, who came all the way from freaking Hawaii.
Let's go.
Mastermind.
Yeah.
Just producing all the good stuff worthy of a game that I just know is going to be a banger.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited.
Yeah. And of course, we got producer Theo Lloyd Hughes, our executive producer, Emily Olson. If we could only turn the camera on this crew of 4.
I know.
Behind this camera. It's been a day. It takes a village.
Truly. And we are somehow at the conclusion of a crazy, crazy season.
Yeah.
But I just feel that this game is going to change us. Like, I am not going to be the same person on the other side of it. Maybe I just need a nap, but that's how I feel right now.
Yeah. Nap, always helpful.
Yes.
All right. We're going to see you on Saturday.